Okay guys, we've got some breaking news here to chat about, as Jeff Gorton has just poached his first moose with a waiver claim. That's right, it didn't take long. As Frank Saravalli reports, Kale Clague, who's a young defenseman for the LA Kings, has been claimed by the Canadiens. Now, all kinds of questions arise, of course, like why? And who's that? And maybe why did this guy's name, which rhymes with plague, find himself on waivers? Well, let's start with the basics. Kale Clague, or as Eric Cartman would probably call him, Cal, is 23 years old. He was drafted in the second round by the LA Kings, 51st overall, and as you can see here, he's had some pretty decent offensive numbers throughout the minors and even in the AHL. But you see, the problem is the guy just hasn't been really able to put it together in the NHL just yet. So far this season, he's got a whopping 5 assists in 11 games, and while you're probably laughing your little asses off thinking whoop-de-friggin-do, you might want to tone it down a couple of notches because that's 3 more points than Jeff Petrie has in about half the amount of games. Yeah, things have been that bad. Clague is a guy that can actually jump into the Habs depleted lineup right now, and who knows, maybe a change of scenery does him well. Now, as for the why Montreal decided to target old Clague, I mean, Jeff Petrie is out now, possibly for a long time. He's clearly all banged up. Sami Niku is out with COVID-19 for a bit. Kulak's been all banged up recently. Edmondson's been MIA for what feels like years. So at the moment, it only makes sense to add some depth to the back end right now. And at 23 years old, earning $761,000 this season before becoming a restricted free agent, it's not a risk at all. In fact, if the kid comes in and plays well and hits his potential, it could be pretty rewarding. This is actually the second time Clague was placed on waivers this season by the LA Kings. He was placed on waivers back in October as well, but he didn't have any takers. According to this article here, with the return of Doughty and the Kings having 9 active defensemen on their roster, they decided to send him down and dangle him like a fresh piece of meat in front of the NHL again. But this time, he was snatched up by Montreal. Now, I'd also like to point out from this article, they do go on to say that even though he hasn't solidified himself into the NHL just yet, there's likely still a bright future ahead for the 23-year-old. Keyword being likely. So there you have it. Minor move, low risk, but it adds depth, which is much needed right now. I don't think anyone can dispute that with all the injuries. And it also adds another young 23-year-old guy that has potential and could benefit from this move. That does it for this video. Montreal is set to lose again tonight against Nashville. You can't miss it. It's going to be a beauty. And if you like this kind of content, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the back button on your browser and frig off. All that good stuff. And hey, I'll see you next time.